Our topic was very important for tonight is about the freedom because we're living in the Philippines, and Philippine is a country which claiming to be have a freedom on the day of June 12, and we have to discuss about something very important, that what is it means. And it is really true that the people of the Philippine or the country Philippine have already have a freedom. And it is not only in the Philippines, this is kind so-called of freedom or independence. It's in many countries like in Pakistan, Malaysia, Indonesia, or Algeria, Turkey, or Middle East countries. Everywhere they are talking about they have independence and they have your own country. And then in Philippines, they call it kalayaan or independence or freedom. As per concept of the Quran, the tunay ng freedom or the true freedom is when you are the slave of your creator. When we become the true slave of God who created us, then that's the true freedom. And not the slave of anyone or anything. Only the slave of our creator. That's the true meaning of true freedom. We have to become his slave, then that is the true freedom. Only the one thing I will start with the name. When you claim that you have a freedom, but your name is contradicting your freedom, then that is not right. What is freedom you get from Spanish or from Japanese or from American? The first empire who conquered here was Spanish, yung taga Spain. They conquered Sakop in Tagalog, and then they changed the name to Filipinas, the island subjugated by King Philip. What is the name today of the Philippines? It becomes Philippines. Okay, but it was Las Islas Filipinas. And what is the meaning of that Las Islas Filipinas? The island subjugated by King Philip. So where is the freedom now? I am proud to be the slave of King Philip. That's not the freedom. Okay, like example in Pakistan, they call that they got the freedom from British. But I researched it and I found out in 1947, 14 August, Pakistan was still kingdom of British. Still the king was King George VI. Until 1952, he was still the king of Pakistan, the King George VI of British England. And then the King Queen Elizabeth became the queen for the territory of Pakistan until 1956, I think. So Pakistan was still under the occupation of King of England or Queen of England until 8 years or 9 years. But today the Philippines is claiming to be the freedom and kalayaan, and they are going to have a celebration on June 12th, this Monday, Lunes. Your name is still belongs to King of Philippine, and you are proud to be the slave of King Philip. Where is the definition of freedom when you are calling yourself, you are still the slave of King Philip? That's the number one thing. You don't need to do anything. Change your name. What is the name of this country before? It's Maharlika. What is a Maharlika? The meaning of Maharlika, the land of the free people. That's the meaning. That's Kalayan. That's Kalayan. If your name of your country is Maharlika, then you have a true freedom because it means you are the people who are living in the land which is the land of the free people, land of the free men. That is the meaning of the Maharlika. You are living in the country which is the land of the free men. You have no freedom until you change the name of your country to Maharlika. That is the original name of this country. The Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. The true name of this country was Maharlika. This land was called Maharlika. And it's a beautiful name. And the people who are living here, they can call themselves Maharlikans. They are the people of free land. Or Maharlikans. Or Maharlikano or Maharlikana, like babae, male Maharlikano or female Maharlikana. It's not a joke. It is your identity. When you call yourself, I am proud to be Filipino, then you are saying, I am proud to be the slave of King Philip. It is actually a bad word for yourself. You are insulting your own self, that you are claiming to be the King of Philip, King of Spain, the King Philip, who came here as a terrorist. They came here as the infiltrators. They came here as a destroyer. They steal your money. They steal your gold. They rape your women. They kill your men. And they take out all your gold and all your richness. And you are still calling yourself, we are still the King Philip slaves. That is a very big insult. If it is the day of Kalayan, change your name. Number one thing, nothing else to do. You need to change the name of your country. Unless you don't change it, you are not going to have a freedom, true freedom, which you are claiming on June 12th. That is the true identity. It's a beautiful identity. It's a clean identity. You can still call yourself Kalayan, tunay na Kalayan, if you change your name. I talked to President Duterte, something like few 2-3 years ago. Even before he was president, I talked to him when he was a mayor. After he became president, I talked to him. I write to him, and then he was very agreed for this name change. That okay, it's right. We should be called Maharlikans or Maharlika, our country name, and not the Philippine. But he was not able to change also. Now this is a challenge for the government. Change your name, which is it's not a right name for your identity because you are it still belongs to King Philip, who was known as Contrabida in Tagalog, no, because he was the villain, and your hero were Rizal or Bonifacio, but the first hero was Lapu Lapu, and Lapu Lapu was a Muslim because he was Dato, and all the Datos are Muslim. And his real name was Kalipula, yung pangalan ng Lapu Lapu, tunay na pangalan niya, Kalipula. And Kalip means is the chieftain. In Islamic word, Kalip means is Khalifa or the chieftain, the Amir or the leader of the people. So the Lapu Lapu is a true hero of this country. He fought against the Spanish. The first Christian came to this land, Ferdinand Magellan. He was killed by the Lapu Lapu in a ferocious battle, and then the Lapu Lapu won the war with his tribes people, and then the Spanish ran away. They never came back for 42 years, and then the Lopez Miguel Legazpi came, and he conquered some part of Visayas, Panay Island, Iloilo, and then he asked the King Philip, because that time the king was Philip, that when the Ferdinand Magellan came, the yung hari na yun, Charles I. But in the time of the King Philip, Lopez Miguel Legazpi, the journal, that the king was King Philip, and then he wrote him that what should be called this country, and then he said, under my name, Las Islas Filipinas. And the King Philip is a traitor because he killed people, he murdered people, his people, they raped the women. They steal all the wealth of this country, the gold, the silver, the copper, the spices, everything they stole, and they send it to ship it to Spain with the ship. So where is the identity now? Where is your freedom now when you don't change his name? It is shameless. It is very shameful to call yourself the King Philip slave, alipin ng King Philip. So that's the number one thing. Number two things, like those countries who are now so-called freedom, when they were giving the so-called freedom, they were giving the money, the paper money. And that paper money, how they can make you a slave. You will never be have a true freedom because this paper is a slavery. Your paper will never increase to the high value. It will always be decreasing until you become the slave of those people. So you have to go to America, Europe, England, or Italy, or other countries to become their slave, because these powers, they are controlling the world with paper. So your paper always devalued. Philippine peso now 56. Pakistan rupees now is peso 300. India 82 rupees. And so on. You can check it. These countries will always be able to be under the slavery because of the paper money. So this paper money is another way of occupying. The occupants are not here. Those who occupied this land, they're not here, but they have a system of controlling you through the money. So euro always go up, dollar always go up, the Israel currency always go up, but our currencies go down, and they can control us through that paper money. If your money, your paper has no value, you always go travel. You have to be slave to America or to Japan or to be slave in Europe and other countries. Go there and to be with a slave. Why the Saudi Arabia or Middle East currencies are not devalued? Because there is oil there. So if they devalue the currency, it will be a problem for them to take oil. So they control the value of Riyal and Saudi Riyal or the Dubai Dirham, because they have to get the oil from there. So they have to stable so they can easily to get oil from there for free, because the dollar is just paper only, and they just get the oil for nothing. You just print the treasury bond of $200 billion and they occupy all the oil. So that's another way of slavery, to make the slave people through paper. How much the slavery is it? If you can go to the American Embassy in United Nations in Rojas Boulevard, early morning 2 a.m., there are hundreds of people, they are lining up every day just to get visa, to go to America, to become the slave. Even the British Embassy, along this nearby there, it's full in the early morning, 2 o'clock. Middle of night, it's full in England or Europe or America, just to go there to become their slave. Philippines is a good country, it's a beautiful country. It's lots of rain here. Agriculture is very high. The animals are growing very well. And the fish, the very big sea, everywhere there are 7,000 islands. People doesn't need to go abroad. They can work here. They can have their fish. They can have their animals, but halal animals. And they have agriculture, the rice or the wheat, the vegetables, corn, everything is here. And not to go leave your families and go abroad and to become their slaves, rather than to stay in this land and try to go away from the cities. Don't live in the cities. Live on the remote areas like provinces or in the mountain areas where there's a river and there's water. A beautiful life there. The cities are very filthy and very polluted, not livable places in the cities. So that's another thing now. And then example, the Spanish were converting people by force to Christianity. The Philippine, in this land, the Maharlika, there was no Christian. The Christian were baptized by force. They were given the choice, either you accept this Christianity. So they were Muslim, they were forced to become Christian. If you don't become Christian, we'll kill you. So Sipada become cross, but if it is not cross, it becomes Sipada, and they're going to murder you, or either submit to the Christianity. So now, why the people are still Christian? Why still following their culture and their religion? The culture like sabong, the cockfighting, where it come from? From Spain. The gambling, where it come from? Spain. Drinking alcohol, where is come from this culture? From Spain. And now they have also lots of culture of American, like when you get, your parents get old, kick them out from your houses. That is American culture. You don't need to keep your old parents because they are not livable with you anymore because you have a modern life. So kick them out from your houses. That is the American culture. Spanish culture like sabong or cockfighting or drinking alcohol and this idol worshipping. Yung idol worshipping galing sa Spanish, that is a kind of slavery which you are still following, the idol worshipping. For example, the Bible said, thou shalt not worship any God beside me. First commandment, thou shalt not worship the idol. The people of this country, they still worship idols, which came from the Spanish. In Spanish, they brought the Santo Niño in Cebu, very small, and it's 400 years, it's still small. It's not growing. The children of the people here get big, very big, but the Santo Niño, the Son of God, is still baby, dun sa Cebu. And they are still giving honor to that idol which is brought by the Spain, and is according to their own book Bible, it is the greatest sin. So that is a sign of the slavery, that the masters already gone, but people still follow their religion, and people still follow their culture. The culture of the Philippines, what is the culture? It's Spanish culture. You need to pay, you need to pay. Birthday you pay, graduation you pay, born you pay, and die you pay also. You need to keep paying to the church, and all those money goes to the Europe, especially to the Vatican. So it is a way of slavery. It is a way of a culture which makes you always poor. Don't keep your money, keep on spending for different occasions until you become bankrupt. And then you have no money to buy your rice. So that is the Spanish culture. The fiestas or playing gambling or different occasion where you have to give money, invest your money, and also you give to the church. For example, if dead person, what they do, they put the dead body, then they play the gambling, and they lost their money. So not just this one person dead, other families is going to be die because they're going to lose their money, which is for their needs for their foods. So that is another big issue about how the people become the slave by following the culture and the religion of their masters. So true freedom, the true freedom is go to the religion of the true religion, not your forefather religion, but the true religion. Compare it. The Islam, only one God. And then the Bible says, the Quran said, thou shalt only worship only one God. La ilaha illallah in the Quran. There is no God except Allah. And you submit to one God. So come to Islam. That's your true freedom. People are being enslaved in America and Spain and Japan. Then these three countries were ruling the world, this country. And now the people are going to their countries to become their slaves again. Okay, we want to be your slave. So it is embarrassing. You don't need to go any country. Work here. You have your vegetables here. You have your foods here. You have your fish here. You don't need to go to any country rather than to live here, work hard, and eat what Allah command you, what God command you. Don't eat the dogs and cats and pigs. Don't eat the dirty things, but eat clean things, what God make clean. The the chicken, the beef, the cow, the carabao, or the kambing, or the fish, vegetables, rice, fruits. How big is the fruit? The very big fruits in Philippines, the langka, or marang, or lanzonis, or rambutan, mangoes, bananas. So much blessings of Allah here. Eat those blessings and don't eat what He forbidden. It is our sharing with the people of the Philippines that if you are really claiming to be the freedom, then you have to first step change the name. And then check the religion given by your masters when they conquered you. Was it right, or what was right when your forefather was following the Islam? Because this country is full Muslim country. Luzon, Bisaya, Mindanao was all Muslims before there was no Christian at all. And the first ever Christian came to this land was Ferdinand Magellan. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also mentioned in the Quran, Kul inna salati wa nusuki wa mahya wa mamati lillahi rabbil alamin la sharika la wa bidhalikum umirtu ana awwalul muslimin. That surely my prayer and my sacrifice and my living and my dying are all for Allah. There is no partner for Him, and that's what I'm commanded first among those who submit. Okay. So that is a true freedom that you say I do everything for my God who created me. I help people for the sake of Allah, even to my parents, my wives, my children, my brothers, my sisters, my relatives, all the orphans or widows or people in the country where I live or people in my community. I help them for the sake of Allah. That should be our intention, that I'm helping everyone. And then we should not make discrimination that I can help only to my country people. No. We help all human beings. It is a kind of discrimination. If I am from Pakistan, I should help Pakistanis, or if you are from Saudi Arabia, then you help Saudi Arabian, and if you are from Philippines, you only help the people of the Philippines. That is a discrimination. We should help all human beings. All human beings are human brothers. We are all have a one father, Adam, and one mother, the Hawa. So don't need to discriminate that I can destroy other country or I can only help to my country. No, that is nationalism or discrimination through your nation. Okay, so you cannot say that the other humans are inhuman or less human, but my country human are more human. No, that's a very big sin. Because Allah said in the Quran, O mankind, we created you from one male and one female, from Adam and Hawa, and made you into branches and nations and tribes to know each other. But who is more honorable with God? Who is more fearful to God? Okay, so we don't need to consider that my country people I should need to help and to care and to protect. No, we need to help all the people of the world, and we need to take care all the people of the world, and we need to protect all the people of the world.